So guys, before I go into the cocoa of today, I'd like you guys to watch this video.
Me now, I dey Europe, they tell you we dey for Nigeria. Say if you run comot for Nigeria, the suffer wey you go suffer for Europe and America go pass the one wey you go suffer for Nigeria. People dey under the comment section, you dey Europe, they talk this kind of thing. Why you no come back? Why you too Japa? Because nobody tell me. Because nobody tell me. I don't use my two leg comot for Nigeria, reach Europe, born two pikin inside the suffer before I can't get sense. I no fit go back, I no fit go front. I dey here stuck. So I dey tell you, I say if you run comot for Nigeria, the suffer wey you go suffer for here go pass the one wey you go suffer for Nigeria. You dey tell me say make I come Nigeria. If they tell una something to get sense, to why? So that make you no make mistake. No, you go won't make that mistake so that you go waste your time and your life. The way I don't dey waste time for here for Europe. Stay your papa house, stay your motherland, stay for there. Suffer, make it better.
Okay. I mean, that's a whole lot to take in. So guys, look, I kind of agree with a part of what he said, but not everything. I mean, you don't get to tell people how to live their lives. That is crazy. I mean, that it didn't work for you doesn't mean it's not going to work for another person. Hello guys, it's your favorite girl, Jessie Rogers, here on the Kiwi Show. How are we doing? We're back with another interesting topic. This Japa phenomenon that has been trending for the longest time now. I mean, ever since things started getting from bad to worse to kind of worse here in Nigeria, I mean, it's been crazy. Everybody wants to run away, down to even the oldest persons, you know, people who are supposed to retire and, you know, stay in their house and enjoy their later years. No, they too want to run away. And that is crazy. And I mean, you can't really blame anybody for wanting to, can you? Of course not. Now, you see, in his video, he talked about the fact that you will still suffer and that you suffer double what you were suffering in Nigeria if you think that abroad is the solution. Well, you see, you're not supposed to think that abroad is the solution, okay? You're supposed to make up your mind to work, be able to work. If you think abroad is a place where you just go to and your life becomes smooth, I'm just telling you now to disembark. Don't even bother going, okay? Don't even bother making the trip if that is what you're thinking. But if you have calmly, carefully consider the pros and cons, then you're good to go. What am I talking about? What are these pros and cons? All right, in as much as Nigeria has its downsides when it comes to surviving, when it comes to how the economy is doing, okay? I want to remind you guys, you know that some of our big men, some of our prominent men, they're not based outside. They're still in the country. So the thing is, there are still benefits, okay? There are still things to enjoy when you're in the country, but you just need to have you understand? You need to be buoyant enough to enjoy Nigeria. And that's the trick behind it. It's actually not cool. It's actually not cool that the enjoyment part of Nigeria is not accessible to the average man. It's not a cool thing, okay? But then you come in to make this complaint. You know what's funny? He's outside the country and saying that, why hasn't he come back to Nigeria if it's that bad over there? I mean, think about it. You're outside though. Telling us not to go, but you're still there. Anyways, now I would like to take us through a journey. I'd like us to go through, like, I want us to see some of the factors that must be considered before you make up your mind to travel outside the country. Like, these are very, very important factors that you have to take note of. Number one is age, okay? Your age. Now, what do I mean age? What am I talking about? The truth of the matter is traveling to a completely different land, a strange land, you're literally going to have to like start all over. You understand? So I wouldn't advise people who are older, unless you have some stacked up wealth, then sure, do your thing. But when it comes to survival, when it comes to starting life or balancing or, you know, migrating and settling down, I think it works better for younger persons. Because biologically they're what's it called? They have more energy to cope with the working 2 jobs or 3 jobs to be able to pay bills and whatnot, okay? Because the what's it called? The work policy of most of these countries, you need to have at least 2 jobs, maybe morning shift, night shift thingy, so that you can be able to meet up with the bills you're supposed to pay. And you can do this for quite a while, then you can save up and then live a better life, blah, blah, blah. But the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to migration, relocation, settling down, the circumstances favor younger persons, okay, than much older persons. So I think you get the gist. Now, secondly, another important thing you need to consider is your certificate qualification. What in the world am I talking about? Certificate qualification. Now, you see, some countries you might have to, let's say you're already a graduate in Nigeria, okay? What your certificate can do in Nigeria may not be able to do that for you in another man's land. You get, some countries might require you having to go through school again. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And also the fact that what you were able to do, I already mentioned that what you were able to do in Nigeria, the certificate, you may not be able to get that same standard in another country, and it may not really pay you as much as you were being paid in Nigeria. So when it comes to certificate qualifications, you check well. If it is something that can be, accepted globally, do your thing. Away, you get. But if your certificate is not there, then you guys prepare your mind, say, I might need to go to school again, or like adjust one or two things since I want this type of job when I get there. Understood? All right, now third, which is somehow related to the last one I just said, skill. This is like the third factor you need to consider. And some people might think it's not really necessary, or it's not that much of a big deal to have a skill, but I think it is. I think it is. In a situation whereby your certificate doesn't come through for you until maybe you have to go to school again, what can you do to keep yourself alive until that whole thing is sorted out? So like, for example, if you're good with hair, be it male or female hair, that is lucrative. That is a very lucrative skill that can actually fetch you some dough until you're good to go. Because that's like the most important part of life anywhere you are. You should be able to survive, okay? So with your skill, if you have a skill, that's another massive advantage. So if you want to japa, if you want to consider getting a skill before you do so. It comes in handy at times. It's like a very good plan B. So think about it. Now we're going to be talking about financial strength. Yes, why does that even matter? Now, you see, some of us do this thing when you're traveling, you want to relocate, you sell all your properties in Nigeria. For me, that's actually a very good thing. That's actually a very smart thing to do for yourself, okay? But now, where it's a bit disadvantageous, it means if you do that for like the extra cash, no one, that's good. But if you do it as per, you don't really have much, so you're just trying to gather up the much you can so that you can, travel. It's a little bit risky. Why am I saying that? This is because if you check your finances, all right, and it's a situation whereby once you get there, you go red flat broke, I think you should reconsider. Like, just pause. See, I won't lie, but it's better you're suffering in your fatherland, in your roots. It's better you're suffering in your home, like your homeland, than you're suffering outside. It's crazy, especially when you're like in these foreign countries where they're not really very, very receptive to people of color. So I think you just need to be smart about this. But if your financial strength, if your finance can carry you, when you get there, you still have enough to be able to settle down, to be able to like buy the things that you need. Hey, if your money reach like that, then away, you're good to go. You understand? So like I said, when you do things like selling off your properties as like just normal jara, you can actually do without that jara. But like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. If that is the case, then you're good to go. But seriously, if you cannot continue after making the trip, I suggest you just disembark until you have enough. So I don't know about you, but for me, that's a very important factor to consider. Now, before I go any further, guys, hello, have you been seeing this pretty face and enjoying me? Now, I would need you to click that like button, click the thumbs up button for me. Yes, don't get carried away with my teachings. I know, I'm full of wisdom. Don't mind me, guys. So if you are enjoying this video, how about you click that like button? Don't forget to subscribe and share to your friends. All right, so let's go to the next factor that I think is important that you have to consider before you Okay, now you need to consider the fact that you are starting life fresh and things are not always going to be so smooth. When you were in Nigeria, right, you were born into Nigeria. A lot of things happened while you were being nurtured. You grew accustomed to your environments, the kind of things that are accepted in the country. Your life was literally shaped around, what you were born into. The orientation your direct family gave you. You literally had all the guidance that you needed growing up in Nigeria, okay? But now, when you're migrating, like when you're trying to start life afresh in another man's land, this time around, you realize you're alone. You're now alone. And starting life all over as an adult is crazy. It can be really hard sometimes and very frustrating. And you see some people making videos and posting online on how they're missing home, how, you know, they pulled through dadani, and they make some crying videos sometimes. Yeah, you may not really understand, but like, it's hard to unlearn when you're now an adult. Reorientation is not so easy as it seems. Now, let me give you an example. You know, something like, I'm not saying that this is what should matter to you though, but I'm just trying to like give an example. Imagine when you're back in Nigeria, all right? Everybody knows that, oh, a younger person is supposed to greet an elder person if you see them, get that kind of stuff, you understand? But like outside, in most countries, little kids don't really send you. They don't care. They won't call you auntie or senior, whatever it is you're looking for. They're going to call you by your name. They can decide to greet you or not. It's really nobody's business. Everybody tries to mind their business over there, okay? It's not like Nigeria. I'm just giving you an example of how life, how contrasting the life of both places are. So you have to prepare your mind that the things you're seeing here are not what you'll be seeing there. And you should be ready. You should be ready to handle things like them. Otherwise, you get into trouble. It may not really suit you. It may not really be what you're happy with. You might think that this thing I'm saying is just, oh, maybe. It's funny because when you have to now start adjusting there, you would think about it. You'd realize that it's not so wow. I remember one time where I think a pastor, there's a Pastor Kingsley or something, he said something about when he and his family they were driving on the highway outside the country, and there was no drama of any sort. It was like, something is missing. I don't know if you get, so some things would seem weird to you and you should be ready to take it. All right, so let's get to the next point. This one might make you a little bit emotional or not. Now let's proceed. The final factor I have here is not the least, but the final one is the fact that you have to understand, always bear in mind. It's very important. Always bear in mind that strangers aren't always welcome. And that is the truth. When you realize that what I'm saying, I'm not just capping, is when something should happen in the country. Let's say everybody, they're running away. They want to run away from that land. They will treat their citizens with priority. They'll take care of their citizens first. You get. Anyways, before things get that extreme, I want to break down this particular point. Strangers aren't always welcome. Yes, your neighbors, your whatever, the people around your new environments, they'll try to be welcoming. They'll try to be hospitable so that you can be comfortable, blah, blah, blah. You blend in. But while you're blending in, that is when you realize that you are a stranger, you understand. And you won't say you've not heard of stories like even people of color who have settled in there before. Under this topic, the major thing I want to focus on is racism. Okay, racism. Now, it's not just you as a Nigerian. There are people, African Americans, who are based in those Western countries that you're seeking greener pastures in, and they face these things on a daily, like ever since they were born. Do you get? So literally they know how to handle it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. They know how to handle this thing called racism. You now that wants to Japa as a person of color to these Western countries, okay? How have you arranged your mind and prepared yourself for the possibility that it might happen to you at one point or another? You have to, first of all, bear it in mind that if it happens, you're not in Nigeria, you're in their land. So if you misbehave, because some of us Nigerians are very violent, you understand? They racism you give them 30 or 50. They do you 1, you do them 100. If they handle it if they handle you according to their laws, you can't really do anything about it because ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So you have to be ready to condition yourself. If you're a hot-tempered person, you go like to be coming down, okay? Until you know your way, until your leg is very, very, settled, until you've settled in properly, until you've blended in well enough with the society. Then you can start showing your true colors small, not too much, you get. So I just wanted to bring this back to your remembrance. A lot of people don't mind racism. They go about, they don't even mind. But for those of you that actually mind, that are easily triggered, that are sensitive, and you want to Japa to the white man's land, you have to take this into consideration. Can you handle it well? The airport is yours, my dear. Soar the seas and travel abroad. Don't let anybody tell you what you could do. Now, back to this video. See, like I said initially, the fact that it didn't work for you does not mean it will not work for another, okay? So if you've actually considered the pros and cons of traveling abroad and you feel you're good to go, please go ahead. Don't let anybody dissuade you, because his video, he came from the angle of, oh, how he has been wasting his time here in Nigeria from in the abroad country that he's in, from one place to another, seeking, survival means and blah 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 blah. Yes, we get you, we get that you failed, sorry, okay, but that doesn't mean that is what is going to happen to every other Nigerian that tries to go outside. I mean, there are a lot of Nigerians who have gone outside and they're doing marvelously well, I tell you the truth. But then I always say this: do not forget your roots, no matter what. I mean, I'm not trying to be some counselor giving advice. No, I'm just trying to open your eyes small and tell you the importance you get. Because when you make all your money there and finish it there, and something happens somehow, God forbid, but you have to come back home. Nothing. There is nothing to fall back on. There's no plan B whatsoever. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So as you're making your money outside, try and be investing in your country. Just look for something to be, investing in Nigeria, in your homeland, or wherever it is you're from, so that you can always have something to fall back on. That's just my 2 cents on this. It's a smart thing to do. All right, guys. I want to be this is time for me to wrap up the show. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. I want to know what it is you think about this particular topic, this whole Japa syndrome. Is it really a wise idea? What do you think? Do you think it's smart to just with the others? Because I mean, sometimes I sit and I think, what if I travel, and things now start becoming better in Nigeria? I know what you are saying, but don't worry. It's all good. If you want to travel, nobody's holding you back. So that is where I'll be drawing the curtains for today's particular talk show, today's topic. Tell me what you think in the comment sections. And if you liked this video, if you enjoyed it, how about you click that like button, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to share to your friends. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be saying bye-bye for now. So until next time, mwah.